IMSA means sports car racing, and there are no finer exponents than the 23 hopefuls who are lining up today for the Idemitsu Mazda MX-5 Cup presented by BF Goodrich Round 12 from WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, California. Hello everybody, in the Global Broadcast Centre, I'm John Hindorf and I'll be taking you through the action today. It's a nice cool 70 degrees, a slight breeze coming down from the north. Pretty clear skies, although we've got a little bit of stubborn early morning low cloud and fog here at WeatherTech Raceway, but no chance of rain, so a perfect day for racing. We're just a little off the coast from Monterey Bay, a wee bit inland, and this 2.25 mile track is absolutely classic natural terrain US road circuit. What a challenge. The big names from the past have been here. We've got Andretti Hairpin, he's won here in the past, and that will be an action area. Rahal Straight goes up to turn 8 and 8A, which probably doesn't mean a lot to most people, but anywhere in the motorsport world, if you say the corkscrew, they know exactly which circuit that you're talking about. From there it's downhill through Rainy Curve, through turn 10 and down into the first gear, turn 11 left-hander. Gresham Wagner won the first round this weekend and is looking to make it double for the first time in 2021. Celine Roland has won here before at WeatherTech Raceway, trying to get back on the podium. And Michael Carter is keeping his momentum alive after a great round number 11. These three have been the class of the field, and my, have they given us some entertainment. On the high banks of Daytona for the first race of the year, it was a pack finish with Gresham Wagner coming home on top. Race 2 ended in a caution. Here's the pass that gave Michael Carter the win just before the yellow came out. 3 wide at Sebring in round 3. Can you pick the winner out of that one? Celine Roland was given it. Wagner learned and turned third into first in the 4th race, and then it was Celine Roland who took the win at St. Pete's for the first time of asking Carter with no one around him in round 6. Mid-Ohio, round 7, Roland back with the win. And round number 9, Road America, another win for Celine Roland. Another close finish for round number 10, and in 11 races this year, the big 3 have taken all bar one of them. Here's the points. Michael Carter comes in with an 80-point lead from Gresham Wagner and Celine Roland. Then the rookies, Chris Nunes and Sam Paley, really pushing their more experienced counterparts. Here's what happened in race 1. Celine Roland on pole position with Wagner on P2. Where's Michael Carter, you ask yourself? All the way at the back. He had a problem with his transponder, which meant he didn't get a lap time in qualifying. David Starb in the pits after an early incident, and then side by side, Nunes goes for the lead. Roland with a little tap on the back of Chris Nunes' red and white car as he went for the lead, and then it was the battle at the front. Celine Roland in the multicoloured car gets on the wrong side coming down through Rainy, and that was enough for the number 5 of Gresham Wagner and Spark Performance to take the victory, ahead of Roland in 2nd and Aaron Johnson, the best of the rookies, in 3rd. The 2nd fastest lap times from qualifying sets the grid for today's race, with Roland and Wagner on the front row ahead of Nunes and Aaron Johnson. But again, that transponder issue means Michael Carter is all the way back on the inside of row 12 on our Mazda grid presentation. Here's what the challenge is. 2.25 miles, 11 corners, 45 minutes of racing, and we're ready to go for round 12 of the Idemitsu Mazda MX-5 Cup for 2021, presented by BF Goodrich Tyres. And Celine Roland gets away with an absolute cracking start. Very vigorous waving of the green flag by Tony on the starter stand there, one of our IMSA regulars, and thanks to all of our marshals and volunteers for getting these events in 2021 underway. Roland then leads it down through the Andretti hairpin, down towards turn 3, up the inside, that's Wagner on Chris Nunes. Those two had a great battle yesterday, early morning, and the sun just burning off that light fog that we had when the cars were out on the pit lane earlier. It's an absolute picture-perfect day here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. And Celine Roland then, one of the big 3 who have taken 10 of 11 victories so far this year, heads up the hill to turn 6. Difficult turning point here. Where do you spot it? There's not much to see. Turning into the little dip, and then you're climbing the rear hull straight towards the famous, maybe that should be infamous, corkscrew at turns 8 and 8A. Just a last few vestiges of the morning low cloud there, sitting in the valleys around WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. But on the track, the temperature's coming up literally and metaphorically as our leaders go down. Oh, and there's Sam Paley off. Sam Paley in the black, number 28, one of the real rookie stars of this year, desperate to win a race. He's done a pirouette on the dirt and somehow has managed to get that number 28 Macumbi Macaulay, a racing Mazda, pointing in the right direction. It's a little more dusty than when it rolled out of the paddock this morning, but he didn't hit anything, I don't think. Coming down the hill, he's already on the dirt, and whatever simulation or console game you've played, you know coming through Rainy Curve, if you get on the outside, you're in real danger. Might have been a little touch with Jared Thomas with the yellow roll hoop on his Mazda, and that was enough. Ragged edge of adhesion, and around Paley goes. He has rejoined on the back of the pack with Celine Roland leading, but only just a couple of tenths ahead of championship rival Gresham Wagner in second. Chris Noons, our rookie leader, and again someone who wants to take a victory this year. Piscatel, Janson, Jared Thomas in 6 has survived that little side-by-side incident we saw a moment or two ago with Paley. Just stringing out the field there. Where's Michael Carter? Watch for the car at the back of the grid. I didn't see him go through there. He's in 18th position, 7 seconds away from the leader. It was a brilliant fight back yesterday. Let's see if he can do it again today. He was sitting in second at one stage in the race, but then slipped down to 6 and had to fight his way back just off the podium. But good championship points for Carter. 41 going through there. Luca Mars sitting in 8th position. Good little battle pack there, but the leading 4 are getting away through turn number 11 and onto the start-finish line. Mazda MX-5 Cup Racing on NBC Sports is brought to you by Mazda, Feel Alive, and by BF Goodrich. Our leaders then diving down from the corkscrew, and that lead quartet then in round 12 of the Idemitsu Mazda MX-5 Cup presented by BF Goodrich Tyres. Celine Roland, Gresham Wagner, Chris Noons, Justin Piscatel. They are just stretching away a little bit from Jared Thomas in the white car with the yellow roll hoop. He leads another little pack there that includes Hernan Palermo in the bright yellow number 20, Aaron Johnson in the dark red number 24, Luca Mars in the orange, white and black number 41. And that takes you down to 8th position. Jensen Altman, another one of the rookies, racing very well. Didn't qualify, I think, where Jensen wanted to, so he's up in the top 10. He's made up another handful of positions. And behind him in 10th place, Dean Copeland for Copeland Motorsports. That's your top 10. Carter now progressing up to 14th position, just under 40 minutes to go. So plenty of racing still to come, and if we've learned anything about the Idemitsu Mazda MX-5 Championship this year, is that you don't call this one until they're at, and in fact over, the line, because it has been that tight this year. Real motor racing with real racing cars, which all start off life as a street version of the Mazda MX-5, brought in from Mazda in Japan, heading up to the brothers Fliss, who have their workshop in Florida, just outside of Daytona. They basically take the car to pieces, put the engine to one side. That's the 2-litre 4-cylinder Mazda engine is sealed, that is not touched, and then the rest of the car is worked on to add all of the safety features and all of the racing parts as well. Racing gearbox, suspension, it's got the very clever, as Mars goes through on Johnson there, and further up the field, that's a battle for the lead. I'll come back to that in a moment, as the number 5 of Gresham Wagner tries to go to the lead, but runs a little wide out of turn number 11, and that allows Roland to lead the end of the lap. But that was a more determined try for the lead now. Now a bit of bump drafting as Nooms tries to push the number 5 car through into the lead. The Spark Performance driver in the 5, that red, white and black from the front of the car backwards machine, back into second. Yes, as I was saying, racing gearbox with sequential shift. A very clever and sophisticated multi-matic suspension parts, plus racing wheels and BF Goodrich race tyres. And over 250 specific racing parts before these cars are sprayed white and handed off to their new owners. Oh, and the 2-litre 4-cylinder 180 horsepower engine put back in to the front of these Mazda MX-5 Cup cars. Very impressive racing machines, giving us very impressive racing. No, surely not. Up to the corkscrew. Here comes Wagner again. Beautiful manoeuvre. Started that down at turn 6, dragged up the rear hull straight, and now goes into the lead. I'm going to need to lie down in a dark room again after this one. Brilliant driving by all of these racers. Such respect we've seen this 2021 season. Lots of dust coming through turn 10. That's where Sam Paley went off earlier on, just before turn 10. He's pulling his way back through the field as well. Dropped all the way down to the back, but has got ahead of a couple of drivers, at least Brian Hickson and Lonnie Unser. Side by side again, over the brow. That is actually turn 1 at the crown of the hill there. Andretti hairpin, the Mario Andretti hairpin is officially turn 2, and then we head into what is quite a quick right-hander at turn 3 before you go under the footbridge, under the bridge now, and down towards turn 4. Another very quick turn-in for these MX-5 Cup cars. And is there a little gap breaking up now between the leading pair and Chris Nooms in 3rd position? We know that these cars, being open top, they make a big hole in the air, and if you can get in the aerodynamic draft, the slipstream of the car ahead, 2 cars work better than 1, 3 cars work better than 2, etc. But the moment you start going side by side and you're not taking the perfect racing line, your lap times suffer. And as you can see, we are getting, in fact, Jared Thomas is on the back of the leading 4 now, who are back together. Look for the silver car with the yellow roll hoop. That's the easy way to spot Jared. And he's bringing Hernan Palermo as well. Now you can't miss Hernan's car, the number 20 from Slipstream Performance. And that is the bright yellow car on the back. There's the JTR, the Jared Thomas racing car, and there's the yellow and black of Hernan Palermo as they go down into the final corner, turn number 11. Leads pair with maybe 2 or 3 cars then stretching out as they go on the front straight. Then there's a bit of a gap behind this leading half dozen. Oh, and there's been an incident, and that's Aaron Johnson on the outside of turn 11 in the red number 24. There was another car involved there, and Gresham Carter breaks into the top 10 after that incident, so he picked his way through. Now, can Johnson get that going? We're still under green flag at the moment. There was definitely another Mazda in there. Johnson for Provision Motorsports. I don't think he got there on his own. Oh, it was Carter. Carter involved. Started the lap in 14th, ends it in 9th. And also down there as well, right in the midst of that, we've amazingly stayed green, so I can only assume that Aaron Johnson got that number 24 car out of the dirt and running again. Just over 32 minutes still to go, and the battles continue. And it's Celine Roland who's just retaken the lead there at the top of the rear hull straight and down through the corkscrew. That's a change of lead. That will reset itself. Oh, in the pits, Johnson Aaron Johnson, after that incident earlier on, that's Hernan Palermo, the number 20 car, in the dust at the top of the corkscrew. So 2 incidents there. Were they related? Johnson had already had some bad fortune, of course. Palermo is running again right in front of Sam Paley in the black number 28. So Aaron Johnson getting some work, some remedial work to his car for Provision Motorsports. And the team working on that after the incident at turn 11 a few moments ago. So Celine Roland back in the lead. The timing tower on the left updating as they went across the line there. Wagner, Chris Noons in 3rd position for JTR. It's the 32 red car with a white stripe down the middle. Then Jared Thomas, is he just losing touch with the top 3? Might be a little bit. Justin Piscatel with the yellow wheels. Then the battling 41 of Luca Mars with Jensen Altman, and then championship contender Michael Carter. Great race yesterday from the back, making up a lot of points. Again, had to start all the way from the back today after not scoring, recording a time in qualifying. He was out there. Something not quite right with the technology, I think. Top 3 just starting to come under pressure from Jared Thomas. He's gaining every time there's a little squabble, a little scrap, a little battle. That gap goes down. Oh, big slide though from Thomas there coming through turn 11. That's going to cost him a huge amount of momentum and speed down the fastest part of the circuit. Above the top of the rise, still Celine Roland, Gresham Wagner, Chris Noons, the best of the rookies. That's your podium position at the moment, and Thomas will be kicking himself, just got on the power too early. The BF Goodrich tyres protesting a wee bit as we go under 30 minutes to go in the sunshine of round 12 here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. And that's Peter Atwater who's gone around in the green car. That's turn 2, isn't it? Coming out of the Andretti hairpins. The number 26, that's another JTR car with the coloured roll hoop. That's their signature. Now, did he just take a little bit? Oh, almost hits the car in front. Is that what started it? No, it's not. That's Hernan Palermo, who's coming back from his own trials and tribulations, of course, having spun a lap or 2 ago at the top of the corkscrew. That might get Hernan's card marked from race control. Peter has got the car pointing back in the right direction and is running again. Another one of our rookie class of 2021, which have been stunning. Oh, big slide there into turn number 5 for Peter. Dirty tyres, I would think, on that car after being slightly on the sandy, loamy soil that's on the outside of the racetrack here at WeatherTech Raceway. Great class of 2021 for the rookies. Chris Noons, the best of them at the moment as they go through. I was rather amused when I was talking to Michael Carter earlier on in this race week when he was talking to the young kids that the big 3, if you like, of Roland, Wagner and Carter have been racing. The kids, by the way, from a driver who's only 21, and that is the Liqui Moly 36 car that's gone around, and that's a horrible weekend for David Starb, who got damaged before we even got the green flag yesterday, and it looks like another non-finish or lowly finish for him. That number 36 Slipstream Performance car parked at the side of the road, but we're still under green for now. Yeah, 21-year-old calling the rookies a good bunch of kids that are very fast. He's right. Chris Noons, desperate to take a win away from the top 3 in the championship. A remarkable 10 out of 11 rounds so far. This is round 12. And 10 of the preceding 11 rounds have been won by either Celine Roland, Gresham Wagner or Michael Carter, who remains in 8th position, trying to close down on the Martin ultimate battle for more championship points and to keep himself in the hunt. This championship, you feel, will go down possibly to the last corner or the dash from the line out of the final corner coming down the hill at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta in race 2 and the final race of the season at that Motul Petit Le Mans weekend. It's just been one of those seasons, hasn't it? And we'll have that action for you here, of course, on NBC SN. So now these three, after that little slip by Jared Thomas, there's been slightly fewer attempts at overtaking, and that gap between Chris Noons and Jared Thomas has just gone out a bit. So the 6 that we had battling at the start became 4 and now has become 3, and is Noons just losing touch with the leading duo, possibly. But if they start fighting again, I'm sure Chris will be right there. There's lapped traffic to think about. 1 or 2 drivers who've had problems. Oh, there's that Celine Roland's car just starting to move around a bit through turn 6. Up the hill that is the Real Straight. Now into the top of the hill. Slightly wider entry. Oh, fantastic commitment from Celine Roland in the Autism Speaks. That's the multicolours of the jigsaw pieces on there. A fantastic charity that is being supported and promoted by Celine Roland and the Hickson Motorsports Group. Real sense of social responsibility from these young drivers and their teams in the IMSA Mazda MX-5 Cup. And Celine Roland has certainly been given a voice to Autism Speaks this year, and bringing their cause to a bigger audience. Turn 11, and that's not the right way to be pointing there. The all-white number 13 is Jensen Oldsman with the aero paint support on the side of the car. Now he was battling with Luca Mars and loses it on his own. Oh, Jensen will be disappointed with himself there. There goes Carter through, gets a position for nothing in the red, white and black car. So Jensen, having been battling well inside the top 10, he was in 7th position and he's dropped down the field now. That won't do his Whitney points haul any favours either. But that does put Michael Carter up to 7th position, and his next target is Luca Mars. At the front of the field, it is still Celine Roland who leads as we are moving into the part of the race with just on 22 minutes to go. So half distance has been passed now. Started with 45 on the clock and into the second half of the race. And this is where we find out where the concentration is, where the performance in the driver and the car, who's got it left, have they saved anything? I think not, to be fair. It tends to be pretty much a flat-out blast. Chris Noon's doing a great job in the number 32 JTR Motorsports Engineering Mazda, holding on to the leaders. Remember, Chris in his first season in this championship. Big prize, cash prize up for the Rookie of the Year, in amongst a prize fund of over $500,000 in real folding cash type money. 250,000 of that going to the winner of the overall championship. And again, the driver's telling me that they are looking at this championship now, many of them not as a stepping stone. And Michael Carter was saying to me earlier in the week, not a stepping stone. There is Michael Carter in the 08. Not a stepping stone championship, but he'd be quite happy to continue racing in this championship for a long time, but have his career here. He is paying for his racing through the prize money that Mazda put in to the Idemitsu Mazda MX-5 Cup. His father brings the car on a trailer with an RV, and they pretty much run it themselves. Very cost-effective motor racing at a very high level, and with money running down to 10th in the championship, by the way, at the end of the season from Mazda. And as a number of these drivers have said, why would I want to move? I'm enjoying this. I've put aside a bit of money to race. I get quite a lot of that, if not all of it, back. If I move into another championship, all I'm doing is splashing an awful lot of cash. And with the coverage and the support of Mazda, this is a very, very enticing proposition for drivers both young and old. But great to see these rookies in there. And as we mentioned earlier on, as soon as the fighting starts up ahead, Chris Noons is back on the tail of Gresham Wagner. All the details, by the way, on the series website if you're thinking about 2022. And there's also a level of MX-5 racing below this, with a scholarship at the end of the year, more money for that as well. So if you are thinking about getting your motor racing career going, you could do a lot worse than looking at these proper race cars with real racing on fabulous circuits. This IMSA sanctioned championship, just being part of an IMSA weekend, frankly, is great fun. Mingling with the stars of the WeatherTech Sports Car Championship and all of the other championship that IMSA are the sanctioning body for. 18.5 minutes to go. This top three showing no signs of easing up. Looks like there's nothing happening. You may think that. Quite the reverse. These young drivers are planning and scheming and checking to see any slight hint where they have a tiny advantage, or their competitor has a slight deficit in speed or momentum or performance. These cars very, very closely matched indeed, of course. And again, that is down to good engineering from the Fliss brothers who build all of these cars, and also making sure the IMSA scrutiny is the technical checks that go on between the races and before the race weekend even starts. Now, slow car in the background as Piscatel goes through. That's all right. That's Johnson back out of the pits, and Piscatel going through. That was a lap car, that dark red, the Soul Red Crystal car. And here's the battle for 6th and 7th. Just in behind Aaron Johnson as he climbs the hill to turn 6. Luca Mars just kicks the back end out, almost like MotoGP or World Superbikes, backing it into turn 6 in that number 41. That with the distinctive livery pattern of Copeland Motorsport, they always have that slash cut on the front and the sides of the cars. So battling for 6th and 7th. Michael Carter not getting back to the front of the field as quick as he did yesterday. He's planning and scheming, and he's there now for extra points for the championship run. Carter goes to the right-hand side. That's not the best side to get a run. He's going to do the old crossover here, I think, as he comes out of turn 11. Gets a lovely run out of there. All about momentum. Now, Luca Mars' 41 car is making the hole in the air. He goes defensively to the kink, across the top of the brow, down the inside. Carter gets it done before he gets in the braking area. I have a suspicion there that the rookie, Luca Mars, in the number 41 Copeland Motorsport machine, is thinking to himself, that's not my battle. Chris Noons ahead of him leads the rookie charge in this race. I think that's pretty decent driving by Luca Mars. Now, how far can Carter get up the field? Mazda MX-5 Cup Racing on NBC Sports is brought to you by Mazda, Feel Alive, and by BF Goodrich. The 12th of 14 rounds of the Idemitsu Mazda MX-5 Cup presented by BF Goodrich in the second this weekend at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. Far from being settled and sorted, the top three continue to entertain. Celine Roland leading in that multicoloured number 87. Gresham Wagner, championship contenders, both those two. And then Chris Nunes, that's one of the contenders in the Rookie of the Year category. He's mixing it with the slightly more experienced drivers ahead of him. Behind them, with just on 14.5 minutes to go, is Jared Thomas and Justin Piscatel, being closed in on by Michael Carter, the third of our big three. Carter starting in the back for both races this weekend after a snafu in qualifying, so he recorded no lap times at all. So the 0-8 of Carter on very much a damage limitation in terms of points lost to his two championship rivals who are first and second at the moment. He's got back to sixth from the back of the field. Can he improve that and upgrade his points tally even further? Beautiful conditions this morning race at the WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, a track of course which for so many years had big Mazda connections, and down through the years we have seen some phenomenal Mazda MX-5 races, but this is the first time that this iteration of MX-5's been here with the sequential gearbox, the flat shift and the auto blip. Means these cars can go deeper into the corners. The driver's learning new skills all the time, means the upshifts are a little quicker as well, so lap times have been improving, and it is really nip and tuck at the front of the field. Half a tenth here, a couple of hundredths there between this top three, who now got the better part of a couple of seconds on Jared Thomas in the silver number 96 in fourth position. But mark my words, when the fighting starts at the beginning, at the head of the field, excuse me, that gap will come down. Thomas just lurking in the background as the lead trio go through turn 5 again and start the climb. He's there, he can see that he's slightly frustrated. I don't think he's close enough to be still getting the draft from the cars. There's Thomas going through. Here's Piscatel, and Piscatel is being closed in on the light blue car with the yellow wheels and the headlights blazing, then the red, white and black from the top down over. 0-8, that's Michael Carter. Great race through the field yesterday, he's having to do it again today. He's probably passed more cars than anybody else in these past two races. Might be, well, I daren't even think what the passing manoeuvres tally will be for Carter. Still seems to have a good car underneath him as he came down through Rainy Curve there. He was leaning on it, and a little ragged from Piscatel puts the left-hand side BF Goodrich tyres into the dirt. That'll all be good news for Carter. You do get a little encouraged as a driver if you're chasing a car that you can see getting out of shape. Now, is that just the setup on Piscatel's number 89? The McCumbee Macalea racing team really know their stuff. Both the principals, racers themselves, and both cut their teeth in the forerunner of this championship. We'll keep an eye on Carter, but let's get back to the lead three. Celine Roland, Gresham Wagner, Chris Nunes. Do you get the feeling that Chris Nunes is just sitting in there going, right, well, if this all kicks off and it starts to get a bit elbows out and argy-bargy, I could be even better than my third place at the moment. A lot of stuff going through the minds of these drivers. Great run by Gresham Wagner as he climbs the hill. Can barely see him behind the Hickson Motorsports car that leads, but wasn't quite quick enough to turn that into an opportunity for an overtake at the top of the corkscrew. Under the WeatherTech walkover bridge. Huge downhill drop there, all the way to turn 10. Get to the inside curbing there. There's a little bit of banking that helps you out. Oh, what a mistake for the second place car, and off for the bright blue 99 of Bruno Caminiero. The Rodizio Grill sponsored car. That's turn 5 to 6, is it? Off on the left-hand side. Looks to be that spot for me. Now, I can't see damage on the right-hand side. Under 10 minutes to go. But if you can't get that car going... Oh, come on, Bruno. Trying to get it going. He was running quite nicely in the top 10 in, 8th position behind Luca Mars and ahead of Sam Paley. But that car, the Carniero, is dead stick, I think, at the side of the track. Let's see if we can do a little bit of digging around and find out what happened. I believe he's just about where the leaders are on the track now. Watch for yellow flags at the side of the circuit. And now look to the left. Oh, no, he's further round than I thought then. Right, well, that's good news. Oh, there he is. He's at turn 6. Out of turn 6, not out of turn 5. My apologies. So, off the racing line. Now, the question for me is, can that car stay there? Race control will be one up. No, it can't. Race control, I was about to say, will be taking a look at it. But the full course yellow is out, and the Mazda MX-5 safety car running in the livery of the Mazda prototype that will be doing battle later on in the weekend in the WeatherTech Sports Car Championship is back out on the track. Bruno doing exactly the right thing, by the way, and sitting in his car until told by the rescue crew it was safe to get out. You are far safer surrounded by the FIA approved safety cages, the door bars, in your seat belts and with your hands device. Oh, Bruno. Desperately disappointing for him. Great work by our rescue and recovery crews as ever, and we'll go back to green for round 12 with the Idemitsu Mazda MX-5 Cup presented by BF Goodrich here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca with just under 3 minutes to go, and the battle for the lead heads into the first braking area. It's turn 2 and the leader's gone wide. Roland's gone wide. He's way off the track. Jared Thomas on the inside, and the silver number 96 is going to make a real advantage out of this. Roland gets his elbows out and tries to come back down the inside of Chris Nooms in the red, white and black car, the second of the red, white and black cars. Piscatel in there with the blue car and the yellow wheels. Michael Carter, of course, is closed up after that safety car. He's right in there as well. And Celine Roland is back to the lead. How did he manage that? He was so far off at turn 2, he almost had to show his pass to get back on the circuit. That was an extraordinary run from him. Big mistake on the first big braking area after the restart. Chris Nooms making a mistake going through turn 5, and Jared Thomas I think is going to go through into third. He does in that silver number 96. There's Carter now in 5th position. He's already dealt with the cars ahead of him. So he's got past Piscatel, who's dropped back there. It's Piscatel who's really lost out, restarted in 5th position as you can see on our timing tower, but he's the blue car. He must be down in 7th or 8th at least at the moment. Sam Paley coming forward as well in the black car, now behind Luke Lamars, who's that orange and grey car. What an opening corner after the restart, and Celine Roland will be scored as the leader after the green flag again, and you would think, well, he's got a decent run. Oh, Johnson again in the dirt at exactly the same place that he was earlier on. The white flag is out. Johnson pretty much in his own wheel tracks from earlier. The leaders down into the hairpin again, the Mario Andretti hairpin, and another great over and under by Gresham Wagner. He goes back to the lead. Roland on the dirt again, rubbing doors with Jared Thomas. Here comes Chris Nooms in the 32 with a white stripe down the bottom, round the inside, the outside. He'll drive over the top if he needs to. And then Michael Carter in 5th position. Great comeback drive for him from the back of the grid. But it looks like Gresham Wagner has made his bid for freedom. That's a huge advantage in Mazda MX-5 Cup racing. Luca Mars is not out of this either, and he likes the look of the inside line in turn number 5 in that 87 car with the half-grey bonnet. And that's Sam Paley. Remember, Sam Paley had the spin down the hill early on and did a complete 360 in the dirt, and he's now back up to 7th, possibly even better than that, as he goes wheel to wheel with one of the championship contenders, and this time it's Carter that loses out and has to lift off through turn number 6. This is the last lap. Roland blissfully unaware of what is Wagner rather blissfully unaware of what's going on behind him as Roland and Thomas battle for the 2 remaining positions on the podium, and Luca Mars has come through to 4th. Michael Carter trying to get the inside line for turn number 11. He has. Watch the red and white car, and the 2nd and 3rd are at it as well. There'll be no overtaking there. The yellow flags are out, so you can't improve your position. It's going to be Gresham Wagner who wins it for Spark Performance. Brilliant stuff for him, and he will be delighted. What a fabulous weekend for him and the team. Wins round 12 at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca with 2 rounds to go. Brilliant stuff, and very close indeed behind. We'll get you the results when we come back. Mazda MX-5 Cup Racing on NBC Sports is brought to you by Mazda, Feel Alive, and by BF Goodrich. Gresham Wagner Spark Performance is number 1 again this weekend down in Victory Lane. Let's take a look back at that eventful restart. Coming to the line with just 3 minutes or thereabouts to go. Wagner right on the tail of Celine Roland going down into the Andretti hairpin. Roland goes really wide. I thought Jared Thomas in the 96 silver car, closest to the camera, was a shoe-in to get to the lead there. Roland has different ideas, keeps his foot in to turn 3, the right-hander. Somehow manages to find some space on the inside. Wagner went a little bit wide, but ultimately has taken the victory from Celine Roland, who fights back to 2nd ahead of Chris Nooms, the best of the rookies, in 3rd. Then Luca Mars in 4th position, 2nd in the rookie competition. Sam Paley 3rd in the rookie competition, takes 5th overall. And Michael Carter from the back of the field to 6th. That might have been a couple of places better than that even, but a great drive nevertheless. Further down the field, David Stabb and Dean Copeland had problems. Bruno Carniero in 8th position when his car ground to a halt just out of turn 6. Got to feel sorry for him. And Aaron Johnson finished in the gravel at the outside of turn 11. He'd been there once already. Not a good day for the number 24 driver.
You know, after getting the race win yesterday, you know, I was just looking to try to get on the podium today and, you know, make it a good event altogether. But I was pretty content to ride there in 2nd until we got the yellow at the very end. And I knew, you know, people were going to be aggressive behind me, so I'd have to be offensive to be defensive. So I wasn't willing to give up any more spots from 2nd, and I was afraid if I just sat there behind Celine, it'd get wild behind and he'd run away and I might, you know, slip back to 4th or 5th. So I saw a gap and just stuck my nose in there and you know, it worked out. And then they got to battling behind me, so I just had an easy last lap after that. But
easy last lap possibly, but Gresham, don't run yourself down. There are no easy victories in the Idemitsu Mazda MX-5 Cup presented by BF Goodrich. A brilliant weekend though for the Spark Performance driver, who has amassed a 100-point advantage to take to the final 2 races. Michael Carter had to come from the back twice, but still holds on to 2nd in the championship, 60 points ahead of Celine Roland in 3rd. Sam Paley 4th in the overall is the best of the rookies, with Chris Nooms and Luca Mars, his fellow rookies, in 5th and 6th position. Dates for your diary: our live coverage of the final 2 rounds of the Idemitsu Mazda MX-5 Cup presented by BF Goodrich on IMSA.tv, 11th and 12th of November. It's all part of the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship Motul Patila Mon weekend for Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. But don't worry, if you can't join us live then, we've got you covered here on NBC SN on November the 23rd, 3 p.m. Eastern. The locals around here tell me the West Coast is the best coast. I'm not arguing with what we've had in terms of entertainment and excitement. Sam Paley went from playing in the dirt in the number 28 black Mazda MX-5 to going into the final 2 races of the year, leading the Rookie Championship and 4th in the overall. Disappointments for some, elation at the top of the field, particularly for Gresham Wagner. The Spark Performance driver takes a handy 100-point advantage to those final couple of races. Got a nice couple of trophies as well to take home from the West Coast. NBC Sports is your exclusive home for IMSA sports car racing. I'm John Hindhoff. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of the International Motorsports Association. We would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.